Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we'll be reviewing the Toyota Highlander, the regular Highlander, to see if this is now obsolete, given the fact that we have the Grand Highlander, right? Before we get into this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the Brent Brown Toyota in Orem for giving me some time with this Highlander. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below. I'll also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4-liter four-cylinder that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 28 on the highway, with power outputs being 270 horsepower and then 310 pound-feet of torque. Before we move forward with this review, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you can see it's raised there on either side, and then popping down below, headlight design. Nothing too crazy. They've had this out for a few years at this point. And then you guys can see the fog light down below. And then look at all of the chrome trim here with the front grille. And so putting it all together, well, it looks like a Highlander. Now around the side here, our tire setup is 235 by 55 by 20 in the front and over in the rear. And you can see here with the wheels, we've got that silver coloration for them because this is a platinum, a little bit fancier, right? Nice chunky fender flares. And then you guys can see with the chrome trim there at the bottom of the windows, and this one has the crossbars there at the top too. There's your side profile. Now this leads us to the key fob. We've got the Highlander logo, lock and unlock. We got the opening for the hatch with the Toyota logo, and we'll pop it open. Now taking a look at the cargo area, you guys can see that behind the third row there's a decent amount of cargo space. Not massive, but I mean it gets the job done. And then with the third row folded down, you've got quite a bit of cargo space here in the back. And then notice the third row passengers actually get some cup holders. Now, something to note about the Toyota Highlander, this seat, you can see all in place here. Look at the legroom there in the back. Not horrible, but it is a little bit more cramped. And then headroom, same thing with the kind of like sloped crossover type design. So you don't have as much space in the third row with the Highlander compared to the Grand Highlander, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyways, lower that down. Pretty cool looking taillight design here, and then you can see the Platinum all-wheel drive badge and then Highlander there on the other side. And that's the rest of the rear. Now taking a look at the door panel in the back, we actually have sunshades here for the rear passengers, which is pretty cool. I like that wood trim, then you look at this soft touch. Really tight fit and finish, by the way. And then here are the seats, pretty fancy looking. And then just quickly popping in, legroom back here is solid. Storage pocket, heated seats. We've got our own climate zone as well. And the headroom in the second row is actually pretty good. Now taking a look at the front door panel, you can see again, soft touch, and then the trim down below. And this is pretty cool. Again, more of that soft touch. All of our window controls here. Get your mirror adjustments. They do power fold in. Memory seats. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors. And then here are these seats. Look at that cross stitching. All of your adjustments on the side. You can see with the soft touch here, and then up above. And then you notice with the auto stop start, you can see with the 360 camera, heated steering wheel, opening for the hatch, all of that. Here's a quick look at the steering wheel. We've got soft touch all around. Got practical controls here on the front for like your cruise control, your lane keep assist, volume and voice command controls as well. And then with the Highlander, Toyota still uses just traditional stocks on the back. Got this pretty fancy digital gauge cluster, and see the drive mode change there with the gauge cluster itself. But it shows you all the information you need to see. So right now we've got it to show fuel economy. You can see other bits of info if you want to. Now being a Platinum, we of course have a 360 camera system, pretty solid resolution. Toyota does a really good job with their modern cameras, I'd say. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system, shortcut bar on the side. See quick response time with that. It's funny how they put the volume control on the other side. Most are on the driver's side. And then down below we've got our dual zone climate controls, heated and ventilated seats. Again, we do have the rear climate as well. Some vents down here, and then we've got our wireless phone charging pad, and then nice soft touch trim all across. And this is pretty cool with that design element. More charging ports. They like charging ports in this car. Shifter for that 8-speed. Got some cup holders. Your drive mode select here, and then also notice they got like off-road drive modes, as if anyone would ever take a Platinum off-road. Hill descent control, you got your snow mode, stability control, auto hold, parking brake. And I've always thought the center console on this is kind of funky, how it's like a slider. I don't know, interesting. It's got good storage though. Then you got the glove box, camera rear view mirror, and then we do have a panoramic sunroof. Kind of hard to see, but Platinum and total MSRP, $54,038. And let's take it out, drive it, and talk about whether or not this is obsolete. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Visibility over the hood, both the mirrors, and got the rest of the rear. So, Highlander. To be honest, the reason I'm filming this review is because I'm getting my windshield repaired over here at Brent Brown, because they've got people that can do that. And so I was like, you know what? While I'm waiting for 20 minutes, I'll go and review something. And well, it is the Highlander that we are reviewing. And yeah, this is an interesting car. I've reviewed pretty much every single package on the new Grand Highlander, and I reviewed the Lexus TX as well. I just reviewed that TX 500H, and so I feel like it's a good time to come back to the regular Highlander, the original, and kind of talk about it. So first off, seat comfort's good. It's a comfortable car. Ride quality is also good. It drives well, and you know, although, and just like a lot of people, I did like that old V6, even though it wasn't necessarily as punchy as this new turbo 4-cylinder. You know, just the trust that you have in an engine like that is, you know, exciting to me. And so, yeah, like I said, this engine's fine, but V6. And I've noticed a lot of people have been reaching out to me about Highlanders, and they've been saying that they want to go for the V6. They're like, hey, have you seen any V6 Highlanders? And it's like, oh, interesting that that's happening right now. But yeah, it just drives well. So why would this be obsolete? If this car has solid features, it's, you know, priced pretty reasonably considering other cars in the market, and it drives well and all of that. Well, the Grand Highlander. I think that Toyota originally thought that there was two different markets, right? They thought that there was people that wanted a, you know, vehicle like this with a third row where, you know, probably the third row is gonna be folded down most of the time, use as storage, and then maybe they'll occasionally use the third row, whereas the Grand Highlander is gonna be kind of more dedicated third row, right? It's a little bit bigger SUV, so you got more third row space and just more space in general. I think that's what they thought. They thought that, yeah, okay, we'll kind of dive into two different markets. But I think the reality of it is that some of these still sell, because, you know, Toyota, for the most part, a lot of their vehicles they're still sold out because there's, you know, quite a bit of demand. But these aren't selling as well as the Grand Highlander. Like, the Grand Highlander is sold out, whereas this, on the other hand, is not, right? I'm obviously reviewing this one. This one's available for sale. Yeah, this engine really is good. So I think that most people are just look at this and the Grand Highlander and go, the Grand Highlander's a little bit more expensive, but it's a bigger vehicle, and so they just go and spend the extra money. And so I think that Toyota kind of, instead of creating a new market, you know, potentially they did pull from other automakers, but I think what instead they did is they just split the market. And so now they're building two different SUVs, and they're probably not really selling, I mean, I don't know, maybe they are selling more cars with the, you know, in this segment. It's hard to tell because, you know, post-pandemic, everyone is selling more cars overall, so it's kind of, you know, looking at the numbers is not really going to show you, but I just don't, I hope you guys get what I'm saying. I don't think that they're really gaining any market because of this split that they've done with the Highlander. So I think they might have been better off just getting rid of the Highlander and just doing the Grand Highlander, or just calling it the Highlander and making it bigger, like what Chevy did with the Traverse, right? Because you have, and it's weird that these automakers are now doing these huge unibody SUVs. But yeah, Chevy basically made the Traverse bigger, and that's just the new Traverse. So let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know if you think if the regular Highlander is obsolete, but I think most people, given the options and the fact that they're pretty close in price, probably just gonna go for the regular Highlander here. Or, no, sorry, not the regular, the Grand Highlander. A little bit of brain fog there, apparently. Yeah, they're probably just gonna go for the Grand Highlander. But yeah, let me think.